Hi, it's Diggin time. We're in Prague on the rooftop with DJ Ballatini from LA. So, welcome. How do you like Prague so far?
I love it. I love the buildings. So far everyone's been so nice. But last night was the first time I went to like live music since I had been here. And so I was really stoked about that. And so I really love it. I could see so many parallels with what we have going on in LA. And but it's just like, I think just the scenery is so majestic.
All right, cool.
That's how I feel.
What kind of parallels have you seen?
Well, I see like a lot of people. I think like the state of the world is so crazy right now, but it's good to see people who like care so much still do what they love and be passionate. That's what it feels like. I've been talking to a lot of people like that. I see a lot of hardworking people here too. So, and I see a lot of people having a good time. So it's like I feel like there's a little bit of a balance for me. It just feels like I feel like I'm just in another part of the world, but it's not that different. You know what I mean? Like I feel like I think I was telling you yesterday, I feel like I could see some of my friends and the new friends that I've made. And so it's like I feel like the world's even smaller, even though we're so far apart, So that's what it feels for me.
Glad to hear that. And how's your European experience so far? Like, have you ever been to Europe before?
I've been to Paris and Spain and London, Ireland. I think that's all I've been in like Europe really. But this is my first time in Prague. I went to Berlin and Munich before this. I'm going to Vienna tomorrow. And so this is the first time I've ever been to these areas, and I'm going to finish my trip in Istanbul. I've never been to any of those places, and so far I've enjoyed every bit of it.
Cool. And you know what they say, like people who introduce you to new music are important, and that's what we actually experienced with you yesterday. You played a lot of LA soul music, and you said that you didn't have a chance to play like a whole set of soul music. So how was it? And could you like shortly, give us a few names and what's going on in LA soul scene?
Yeah, when I planned the trip, I just didn't want to come to when typically right when you get invited or you go to another place, you go to play, and sometimes the mindset is like, oh, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna show people like how good of a DJ I am. You know what I mean? People are gonna know I'm a good DJ after this because I'm gonna just blow them away. I don't really think about things like that. I think about it more like, oh, I want to do my thing and I want to do it now in another place, and let's see what my thing does. It's almost like experimental. Like I'm like, let's just see what happens. Like very, very like, just who knows? Like, does my vibe? Is it? I'm over here in my Los Angeles bubble, and I'm kind of doing my own thing with my friends in my bubble. But what's it like when you go somewhere else? Like, can I maintain like what I'm about in another place with the different influences, despite of our differences? And so when I put together the music for what I wanted to play here, I wanted to kind of I really took the time to be like, okay, I want it to be different than what I've done. And I've collected 45s and I play 45s at home on occasion when I do specialty sets. Like I just recently did a cumbia set of 45s that I had been collecting over the last 2 years. I performed for the first time ever at this place called Part-Time Lover in San Diego that's like specializes in that, in like good sound and good music and vinyl. But with this was the first time I had ever thought to put together, because I was like, what kind of set do I bring? Like, I mean, I could obviously have brought some Grace Jones, or I could have brought, Madonna, or I could have brought, Shaka Khan. Of course I could have done that, right? Or even other Latinos, like a Latino cumbia records. I could have done that. But something just kind of made me want to, like, I wanted like to anyone that came to see me play, I wanted them to feel like I feel when I'm playing at home. Like, so it was really, I had to be really honest about what I wanted to play and what I wanted to share. And so it felt more like a sharing opportunity. And I was like, okay, well, what do we have here? And I'm like, okay, well, I love our soul scene. That's what I listen to at home when I'm at home hanging out, just regular. And I'm like, okay, aside from the soul scene, maybe, I was like, whoa, I have so many friends in the soul scene that are talented, that are amazing, that maybe not that many people outside of our bubble know, and of course people do know on other, in other places, but I really just wanted to be like, okay, so I whittled it down to like, okay, who are my friends or who are people that I've worked with or have crossed paths with in my local area that I feel represent like the culture right now in LA. And I didn't really even know why, but over the last few years, every time any of my friends were selling their 45s, I always bought them. I always bought them. Like I didn't even really play 45s like that, but I was like, oh, I want to just buy them. I want to buy them. And now looking at the collection, playing it yesterday for the first time together, man, I was really stoked. I was so proud of, I felt really uplifted. I felt like I was at home, like I said. And everyone there everyone was really loving it. And so it felt cool that there was like, oh man, see, it is good, right? Like we all love this, right?
Sure, you should be proud because, not all of it, but some of it, because not everybody's that, knowledgeable or, so that's actually, it works. We discovered some new music, which is great. But especially, when you are part of the scene, and so it's more authentic,
Yeah. Well, and I'll be honest, I was a little bit like, not stressing, but I was a little bit like, I was cognizant of like, okay, I'm going to come to Prague. I can't come to like a new place and just be like, oh, hey, what's up? I'm Bellatini. Like I am at home. Like, you know what I mean? Because who knows? Like, what if people are like, well, okay, who the hell are you? Like, why do I care?
Yeah, we were just curious,
Yeah. So, but I'm like, you know what? I'm going to at least bring something. And so I was a little bit stressed, or not stressed, but I was a little concerned or cognizant of just like, I want to make sure that when I go there, I'm not going to be there as like the person that's like, oh, this band started in Riverside and it has these players. And like, that's fine. Like you could look that up on Wikipedia or whatever, right? I wanted to share like only an experience that only I have, like my experience with these people and with the artists and what it feels like for me, so that it's like so isolated, you know what I mean? Like you could really like hear what it is. It's not some general terms, on like, you wouldn't care about the statistics or how many people show up to the venue. None of that's important, right? Like I think that's the whole idea behind soul music. I think it's the feeling.
Obviously. And could you just name a few? Like, I mean, I know it's probably hard to, pick like just a few, but
the ones that I love, like, and they're good friends of mine that I like, I've seen over the last 5 years. And I think the big thing is like after the pandemic, right? Like I feel like I felt very almost obligated to be like, hey, you know what? We're coming out of the pandemic and I want to only connect with people that I really love. I want to support fully the people that I really love, who's out there doing it, who makes me feel something, regardless of like what they think about me, or if they know me or anything. And we'll wait for that to go there it goes. But, so I really made it an effort to really work with and be around people that I like, so that were doing the things that I liked. And from those people post-pandemic, I mean, like Aaron Frazer, I was in a music video, the song, If I Got It, Your Love Brought It. I don't know if you know that song. I'll play it for you.
Probably not.
Yeah, by Aaron Frazer. He's one of my favorites. I was in his music video thanks to my friend, L. Ohms. And so I think that may have been, the first real kind of step into being like, okay, this is like what I'm doing now. I think it was when I really figured out like who are the people I want to kick it with and who are the people that I really like and who's around our scene, and really kind of explore our scene and like where I live. So like Aaron Frazer was someone that was he was around all the time, and it was awesome to see his shows, and he was always so sweet. And then my friend Nick Pagan, I love him. I love all of his music. Like his music is so great. He himself is like the funniest, quirkiest guy. Like he has a funny sense of humor. a cute dog, and he's really, really great. I love his music. He's like the new wop, like he's like a Chicano crooner, it's so cute. Andre Cruz and Chris Lujan, they're some of my favorites. Andre Cruz, oh my God, has a voice of an angel. I just love his voice. I can just like feel everything through it. Man, I could go on. I mean, the Sacred Souls, like those guys, I've seen them so many times perform. And like I think I was saying yesterday, like my sister the other day was wearing like the Sacred Souls t-shirt, and I was like, "Yo, where'd you get that shirt?" And she lives like in the suburbs with like her kids. Like I was like, "Where'd you get that shirt?" And she's like, "Oh, I saw them in concert out here in town or whatever. They came through. I didn't even know they even went through that part of town." And my sister even went and like bought the merch, and she just like she picked up on that same vibe. And like I think in California itself, like from the Bay to LA, the soul scene is really, really prominent, in our communities. Like our communities are kind of all connected through this music. Like you were saying earlier, I think music does connect people. It's like you don't need a language almost. It doesn't matter what language it's in,
True. Yeah. Yeah. Actually, I'm not sure if it was one of the people you mentioned, but it was kind of funny yesterday. You said that there were two of them who, came to your house, playing their test pressings because they didn't have their own record player at home.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. It was Raul from Oza Motley. He's releasing his own stuff, and he had a test pressing. That it was just it happens all so organically, I guess, because like in that case, Raul was out drinking with out having drinks. It was like a Tuesday night or something, and I had gone out with a friend of mine to have drinks, and we met up. And he was like, "Oh, I have my test pressing. He's like, I finally got it so I could listen to it." He's like, "But I don't have a record player." And my friend just looked and was like, "I know someone who has a record player." And we went back to the house and we listened to it. So that was cool. And then Aaron Frazer, when his new album that just came out actually today, I guess, his second album, he had the test album or whatever it was. I guess test pressing still. But or the first album, and so it was really cool to play that. But in 1 week, I had 2 albums, and both he too said he didn't have a record player, which I think is so funny, right? I feel like I don't know. Maybe that's what we got to get him for his birthday or something. A little like portable one that you can just move around,
Yeah, that's a good thing though. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
I do have one, and I actually like it, go to park, listen to music or something.
Oh, you have a portable one?
Yeah.
And you just take it around?
Yeah.
Dang, that's a good idea.
It's great.
How big is it? Is it like a thick one like this?
I would say it's half the size comparing to Technics or something like that.
And is it like really heavy?
Not really, but you don't want to carry it, for a long time. 4
miles or something, yeah. Well, I think maybe I should do that. That could be a vibe too, to just play music at the park.
Yeah.
You should do that and go on Twitch or something and just play music and just sit there at the park.
I was thinking of it, yeah.
You should. That would be cool. I'd watch that.
I mean, I don't have a Twitch channel, but...
Never too late.
We'll see, maybe. Okay. I was thinking of the lowrider culture. Is it still like a huge thing?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Big time. There have been some issues with like the laws lately because like there's all these discriminatory laws in place that make it to where low riding is illegal. But there's a lot of people in the community that are advocates for changing those laws and fighting for the cause of lowriders, I'll wait till they go. I know. I just want to make sure your audio is good too. But
Thank you.
But yeah, so like we do have friends that are in the community that also like they come to our events and but we support them too because they're the ones that are advocating for changing the laws and actually going to Congress, actually organizing and getting people together. So they recently made it to where you can cruise. Like there was like a kind of a there was like a way to where they worked it out to where now we can, like, cruising is legal again. Because there's only some parts of the city where you're not allowed to cruise. And it's obviously the parts of the city where cruising would happen, like on Whittier Boulevard. Like everybody knows that's where you cruise, you know? But they banned it there for a while. But I think it's like back. But I think it's like super important outside of like the just having nice cars and the music and all that. But I think it's like really important for people of like the world majority, you know, brown people especially, to like advocate for things that are important to their culture. You know what I mean? Like, and lowriding is part of the culture, you know? And so a lot of like, and this is what actually Aaron Frazer told me this the other day. I asked him and I thought it was a really, I mean, it's obvious. It seemed obvious, but it's cool to hear it. But he said that like the California, you know, Latino culture really have been like the champions of the souldies, you know, new wop scene in like the world. Like it's like the most, and it just because I think it kind of transitions really, like when you were doing before they made some of this music, we would only listen to the oldies, right? Like a lot of the older stuff and older funk and all that stuff, and so like that's what you would listen to when you're cruising and you know you're like at a barbecue or whatever. And so to now have new music that's in that same style, it's like it feels like it's just like an easy transition, you know. And I think it's really cool. I mean, like I said, I spend a lot of time DJing at clubs and doing like some high energy stuff. So this, like, I think being also part of like the soul scene is like the balancing part of like my lifestyle, you know?
Yeah. And let's talk about digging for a while. Are you like really into digging like when you're traveling or something? Because yesterday we were talking about that you probably like, you know, like covers, you know, of some, you know, well-known songs, and even from, let's say, Czech Republic.
Yeah.
So is this something you like really?
I don't know that I think I'm like, I don't know labels like that. Like I couldn't be like, oh yeah, that's on the Pen. I mean, I know some people are on the Penrose label or, you know, Stone Throw or whatever. But I wouldn't know about vinyl, even though I've been DJing professionally for 7 years, but I've had a vinyl collection my whole life. But I never, I guess I never took the time to have like the information on like the labels. Like of course I know Michael Jackson's on Epic, but only because I remember, I can visually see it, you know? But so I feel like when I would go digging before I DJ'd, I would always buy records that were more like what I like to listen to when I'm just hanging out. When I think of vinyl, I think of when I was a little kid like at my house, just putting on a record. And I was always that person that did that, you know? So I just kind of, I'm like, oh, I'll set it and forget it and move around, you know? Once I started DJing professionally, I had to really relook at my collection and be like, all right, what's stuff that like is just for my house that I'm probably not going to play and, you know, doesn't really work or whatever. And then what's stuff that like I would play. I've found now that as I've gotten more experienced and as I've become, I think maybe a little bit more open creatively, I like finding and playing, instead of playing like the Kraken song, like no shit, like, you know, I'll do my best by the Ritchie Family is like a bomb disco funk song that's going to crack at the club. Of course, everyone's going to dance to that, right? But I'm like, what if I found like from my other collection that like is not a little bit more rare and not as played? I like that. Like I'm feeling confident in my like, oh, okay, there's some stuff that I'd like to hear when I'm out. That I'm sure I'm not the only person that I'm not, you know, I'm sure there's other people like me. I have to believe that we all, you know, have like a connection to one another, or else we wouldn't be here like this, you know? So then if you're here like this, you're probably more like me than not. And if you're more like me than not, then you might like the music I think that I like that's a little bit more rare. That maybe you're going to be more open. Like, you know what I mean? I have confidence that the universe provides me with only good people.
I can believe that, yeah.
Yeah, so when I dig now, like, oh my God, you guys gave me all those Czech covers. I can't wait to play those. Like, I already know my friends are going to be like, what the hell is this? I already could already hear them. I could see them.
At home at a party?
At home, at parties, everywhere. Like, yeah, I could see.
I think it's going to work, yeah, at the party.
Yeah. Oh my God. I'm going to take videos of it. I'll show you. Yeah. For sure.
Great. Looking forward. Wait, I could really talk for hours, but it's really hot.
I know, you're like, we should probably go inside and chill out.
And yeah. So one last thing.
Okay.
I would really like you to, because I guess, or not guess, I think you have really a lot to offer. So
Thank you.
where the guys online can, find you on Instagram or whatever you like to.
Yeah, I'm on LABellatini. Oh, and I'm wearing my shirt actually. My Friends Over Followers. If you go on Instagram, Friends Over Followers LA, that's like my collective, and it's just like all our friends, and we all play together. And when we play together, we know that we're DJing. We have to do weddings, we do corporate events, we do clubs, we DJ. We're all separate. But then we try to DJ together every couple, whenever we can. Like I try to hold the parties that are for all us DJs and other industry people to come and hang out because we're normally working on the weekend. So my parties are a lot of times like on Tuesdays and Thursdays, like chill, more like local days. And I love it that way because I feel like then I can just hang. Then it doesn't feel like I'm like working. It feels like I'm like, okay, cool. I'm kicking it with my friends. I'm learning things. We're collaborating on stuff. We're working. We're like the wheels are turning. But then you can find me everywhere else on LABellatini, BELLATINI.
All right, cool. Do you have a men's t-shirt as well?
Oh yeah, I think they're all. You know what I'll do?
'Cause I like it.
I have them. I have to make these like sold out right away, but I'm gonna make another batch and I'll send you guys a little care package.
Cool.
Yeah, I'll do that.
So thank you for the interview. Thank you for, having you. It was great yesterday and today as well.
I'm glad. I'm so glad. I had a great time with you guys. Thank you for like letting me kick it with you guys and bringing me into your circle of friends. It was really great. Really great.
Hopefully to see you sometime in LA.
Yeah, I'll bring some more friends too when I come back. But you have to come back though.
Thank you.
Bye.